Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for live full-time reaction to Celtic 3, Livingston 2 from the home of full-time reaction. I'm joined tonight by Martin and Scott. This is live. You can ask your comments in the live chat box below. Super chats are activated as well with a few brilliant super chats, so shout out to those people on Wednesday night. Get involved. We'll start today, Scott. On Wednesday, some people might have said it was an unnecessarily nervy game. Would you sum up today much the same?
Not really, to be honest with you. I feel like obviously it got nervy at the end and at the start with the penalty, but I think generally we were in control of the game, and at 3-1 I wasn't really worried at all. Their goal almost came out of nowhere. Brilliant strike. I don't know if you want to maybe come on to that later on, but in general, mate, wasn't massively nervous apart from when we went to goal down and right at the end of the game.
Apart from the one right at the end of the game, Martin, where we managed to let somebody have a free header in the centre of the 18-yard box with 15 seconds left.
Well, it was heart-stopping stuff, wasn't it? I thought Forrest did what he quite often done, and sort of half-hearted tracking back and couldn't get in the way of the ball coming in as much as he could have, and then comes right into the centre of the box. You're thinking, surely goodness, we'll be making sure we're tight at the back, and we weren't one of the best players on the pitch with a free header. If that had gone in, it's an absolute disaster. The morale's at an all-time low, and you know we're hitting the headlines for all the wrong reasons. So delighted that it didn't hit the back of the net. But I'd agree with Scott. It would have been undeserved. But it often happens when you've only got that one goal lead that you get hit with the sucker punch at the end. So thankfully, he didn't put it away.
Yeah, Scott, I think you're right. We were in control, and we were in control on Wednesday. But we can't be losing 3 goals over the space of 2 games against St Mirren and Livingston. Do you think just now we're a bit easy to get at defensively?
When you look at the 2 goals today, right, one's a penalty, and I think it's a bit unlucky. Ayers let the guy in behind him, so Ayers gave the guy the space behind him. That's really where the mistake was. The mistake's not that the ball hit his hand. So that's the thing we need to focus on there. That was a wee bit weak. You can maybe blame it on the fact that the 3 guys haven't played much together at the back, but we should have the quality to be getting clean sheets every week. Then the second goal, I think it's Scott Brown loses his man, and the guy's just hit an absolute wonder strike. So I don't think there was an amass of defensive errors today, but the facts are we're losing goals. So yes, might be the answer.
Martin, I just think there's a bit of lack of intensity, a bit of lack of aggression without the ball. The problem with the penalty is that the boy gets in behind Ayer, regardless of whether it's a penalty or not, and I think it is. They get in behind us far too easily. And then the second goal, there's just no pressure on the ball, absolutely no pressure on the ball. Fair play to the boy, it's a great strike. But I just feel like we're lacking like an intensity and an aggression defensively, particularly at the start of games.
I'd agree. First 15 minutes, I didn't feel confident at all. I thought we started the game really poorly. The goal out of the 2 that frustrated me the most was the second one. We went flying in twice. The guy who scored the goal had far too much time to finish, and although it was a good finish, he had far too much space. There was nobody closing him down, and the attempted tackles were just wild tackles. Brown was one of the 2 players that attempted to go and close the ball and press the ball, but made a complete mess of it. Went running the opposite way. So I really frustrating. The only thing I would say, Paul, is goals against us. Something I look earlier on it. How did we start the season last year? And we're exactly the same position as we were last year. We've lost 5 league goals this year. We lost 5 last year. We've scored 2 goals less. In actual fact, our next game last year was a 2-0 defeat. So assuming we avoid the defeat, we'll have started this season stronger, which I know our performances haven't been particularly good, but points wise and goals against and goals for is very similar to our start last year.
Yeah. Scott, there was positives today, plenty of positives. We'll get on to them now. We responded to the goal really well. In the space of 4 or 5 minutes, we were up 2-1, and Callum McGregor playing a vital role in turning the game around. I think he's playing a lot more further forward today. Would you make him?
Well, that's what I say commonly when I like to speak about Callum McGregor, because I feel that he does the kind of Scott Brown role quite well when he has to be further back. but when he's further up the park, he's a creative player. He's a very, very creative player, and you take that away from him when you sit him right next to Scott Brown. And sometimes that's required in games, but today it wasn't. We've seen the best of Callum McGregor. The goal was unbelievable. It did take a wee deflection, but an absolutely brilliant goal. I feel that the first half, the difference between during the week and the first half today was we were taking risks. So we were making those passes. So they passed it for the second goal, where Callum McGregor's played Greg Taylor through, and Greg Taylor's played a lovely ball in for Christie. Those passes are the ones that we just seem to shy away from during the week on tighter parts or on plastic parts. Sometimes we seem to see a pass, somebody's made a decent run, but we just turn sideways and go back to Scott Brown. And I feel that today we're taking those risks, and you had Frimpong and even sometimes Greg Taylor taking men on, which really changed the dynamic for us.
Yeah, Martin, Callum McGregor pivotal. I felt like he really took the game by the scruff of the neck after we went 1-0 down.
He did, and I think we were looking at the formation this morning. I've not talked about formations yet, but we're looking at formations. We're worried about that left side. Was Taylor going to be playing the defensive role, or we're going to be relying on him to push forward on the left? No Elanusi, no Forrest, which are the two left-sided offensive players we've played so far. McGregor, I thought, we were unsure whether he would help out on that side, but he did, and he helped Taylor. A lot of the good play in the first half came through McGregor and Taylor. As Scott says, one of the goals, he played a 1-2, didn't he? But McGregor was great, just his wee passes. I thought he was a star man by a country mile today, and he obviously enjoys that more offensive role rather than the sitting role, and maybe just getting a wee bit of freedom, being out on the wide side of the pitch more often than he would normally be if you had a left-sided offensive player there. He played that role, and I'm assuming it was intentional, but it did work, and he got the best out of Taylor as well. I mean, he wasn't brilliant today, but he was better than he has been for a while. Involved in one of the goals. And as I say, a lot of that was down to McGregor and Taylor probably feeling he had somebody playing alongside him who is one of the role models in the team, one of our better players. It did make a difference. So yeah, McGregor was sensational today. Really, really good all-round performance.
He ended up taking home the Man of the Match award at the end there, I think, as well, Callum McGregor. Scott, I think Ryan Christie's come in for a bit of criticism, quite a lot of criticism actually, since the season started. But I thought today he was good. He was really good. He obviously got the 2 assists on Wednesday, despite having some poor spells in the game on Wednesday night. But I thought today he was really good. I thought the goal, the second goal is very well worked. You've both touched on the build-up in it already. It's almost a striker's run to the near post and a good finish from him. And then he plays a lovely part in Ajeti's goal as well, just a quick touch and the lovely through ball for him.
He was back at his best today, wasn't he? He's back at his best. Some of the 1-2s that he plays is absolutely brilliant. And the goal was great. I mean, he's just learning that position. I think we're seeing the benefits of maybe him playing in that striker position, whether he is a striker or an auxiliary striker or, he's just fitting in there. He seems to be learning that position. And he's making those runs that he seemed a bit naive with, especially against like Ferencváros. So really happy to see him at his best, because last year we needed him, time and time again. He'll get a lot of goals for us this year. And I feel that I don't know exactly why Edouard's not playing, if it's maybe that he's tired. Like, see my opinion on that, like putting Christie as a striker, brilliant, because he can fill in the gaps, but you've got another striker on the bench, and to be honest, I think Christie would do a better job than Kamala at this point in time. But Edouard not playing, I feel, is a bit strange, because he's 21. He doesn't do a huge amount of work off the ball. I know he's played a lot in international football and domestic football, but it's not like he's not a workhorse. He doesn't do a lot when he doesn't have the ball.
I want to talk about that. We should maybe have talked about that before we started getting on to the game, because that was a big talking point before the game, Martin, that Edouard was on the bench. Didn't end up coming on actually today, but Neil Lennon said he was tired. He didn't feel maybe fit enough, if you like, to start. Maybe fit's the wrong word, but he felt a bit tired after being away with France. But he played 20 minutes for France in the first game, and then 70 minutes against Ross County. He played 70 minutes, and against St Mirren he played 80. So he's not played 90 minutes for the best part of a month, and he's tired. I don't really know what to make of that. What do you think?
I'm worried. I think we're all worried. Is he one of the players that Lennon's talking about that doesn't want to hang about? Because, as you say, this early in the season, a young lad, as Scott says, not played an awful lot of football. There's guys on the pitch that have played far more minutes than he has. And before he went away and represented his country, he hadn't featured for this either because he had a knock. So He became fit to play for France, and then of course has been used sparingly when he comes back. So the signs aren't great, and it's a real worry for us because we've not got that second recognised striker yet. If he was to disappear, and is Griff going to come back, and if when, how long is it going to take him to fit in the team? So I think we're all losing a wee bit of sleep at night, thinking if Eddie goes, it could ruin the season. But no, it doesn't look good at all in my opinion. If he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to feature at some stage in the game. Otherwise, don't have him on the bench, rest him completely. You shouldn't be at risk of needing to bring him on against Livingston. So there's something not quite right. And you wouldn't be surprised. There's obviously going to be interest in him. It's just I think for me the big thing with Eddie is, does he want to hang about or not? Or is he going to do what some of the other players have done to us recently? And is he going to be attracted to go away chasing the money? So I think he'll be hanging about waiting to see what offers come in. There was rumours about Arsenal. Hopefully that won't happen now with them keeping their main man. But there'll be a lot of teams interested. And if Eddie wants to go, then we might struggle to keep him. And it might be he's one of the players that the manager's been talking about that's not had the right attitude, and he's having to try different things because it's all very well for us to say why is he playing that formation and why is he trying these different things, but he'll know himself he's likely to be hanging about, and he'll need to try something different if some of these guys are going to move on.
I thought it was strange. See, when Turnbull and El Yunusi were sitting, or they were ready to come on, then they get the goal, and that obviously changed the manager's decision about them coming on at that moment in time. I thought that was the perfect opportunity for Edouard to come on when we went 3-2 down, because you don't want to be trying to protect a 3-2 lead. You want to get another goal, and that would just totally change the complexion of the game. If you bring Edouard on, he draws 3-4 defenders at times, and it would create space for other people. It seemed like the perfect opportunity for him to come on, and it didn't happen. So maybe it might just be, we might be reading into it too much, and it's just he is tired, or Lennon said he's maybe not perfectly on form, he's missed a penalty, he's not scored as many goals as we'd maybe expect. Let's just give him a break and see if that maybe helps him. We might be reading into it too much, but it's no great sign.
I think there's a bit. Paul, I was just going to say, I suppose if it was a bigger game, if it's a bigger game, you'd be really worried. You'd be saying you've not played them in a big game, but Livy at home's one of the easier games of the season. So if he does it against Hibs at home, we'll be asking more questions, won't we?
Aye, absolutely. I think there's a couple of things. Obviously, you don't know how tired he is. Obviously, if he's, I don't know if Neil Lennon or the fitness team or the sports scientists have decided that, or he's decided it himself. But we play Thursday. This is Saturday and we play on Thursday. So it's not like we're playing Tuesday or Wednesday in the Champions League. And this is a Sunday game. There's plenty of time before the next game. So I don't see why he couldn't have maybe played 50, 60 minutes today if he was tired, and just like he done last week against Ross County, just bring him off at 60, 70 minutes. Let him and Ajeti have some more time playing together. But anyway, we'll see what happens on Thursday. I would fully expect him to come back into the team if he's not played any minutes today. Martin, the striker that did play, Albion Ajeti, got another goal. I feel like I'm saying this every week, but I'm just going to keep saying it. He's an excellent finisher. You can just tell that finish today on his weaker foot into the roof of the net. You can just tell he's a boring goal scorer.
He's brilliant, and let's hope and pray that Eddie doesn't go. But you know, as each week goes past, we're getting more and more excited about Ajeti. He's got at Dundee United. He's practically on the line, on the goal line. He's a predator. He's a fox in the box, and then he scores screamers as well. He scores long rangers. He's a really, really busy player. He doesn't lose the ball. He plays the passes. He's a good decision maker as well. But some of his stats so far, Paul, just looking at league, so he's 4 goals, 1 assist, so five in total so far. But I think, Scott, you made the point last week when I was listening to you. His game time's been quite limited. So out of the 7 league games so far, he's played the equivalent of some of the region of 2 games, and yet he's got 4 goals and 1 assist. And he's up there with Christie with a goal and assist combination of 5. Absolutely sensational impact he's made in the team for somebody who hadn't played last year. Hardly at all. We can get really, really excited about him. And of course, we know his record when he played for Bâle was really good. I think he was 29 goals and 58 appearances, something like that. So a goal every other game in the Swiss league. But so far, his impact on the Scottish game has been nothing short of sensational. And bear in mind, he's playing in a team that's not necessarily performing particularly well, and the formations have been changed frequently. He hasn't yet had the opportunity to forge a good strike partnership. And players, personnel's changing in midfield, changing at the back, etc., etc. He's in a different country in a new league. and despite all of that, he's blown us away. Absolutely sensational. Really, couldn't be happier about him, if I'm being honest.
Scott, I thought some of his hold-up play was good today as well, but this is the difference. I think back at the start of the season, during pre-season, actually, I was talking about Klimala and how I just felt there was something maybe missing there for £3.5 million. Maybe the technique, maybe the way he strikes the ball, the way he finishes, and that's what I'm talking about. See, when you look at Ajeti, that ball through him on his weaker foot, the goalkeeper's rushing out at him, he just smashes it into the roof of the net without even thinking about it.
I know, like, see when you see the ball getting played through, Christie on it, see the ball getting played through, you expect him to take a touch. I feel like he should have taken a touch. I'm sure even Edouard would have took a touch and brought it round the goalkeeper. That just seemed like the obvious thing to do. But he's just smashed it. He's just so confident, isn't he? He's just so confident. And the thing as well is, like Martin said, he never loses the ball. That hold-up play, he's so strong. He can hold people off. Solid guy, and he always finds a teammate if he's in trouble. Really exciting to watch, and the kind of striker that we were looking for. And just, you're comparing him to Klimala, like, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, Klimala just seems like he's got a wee bit to learn, and there's a bit of rawness. He can score goals, and he's a good finisher, Klimala. But you're right, like, Ajeti's just in the box. He's in the right position at the right point in time, and he's good in just general hold-up play as well. So, great signing.
I'm so impressed with him so far. As I say, that the way he strikes the ball today in his weaker foot, absolutely fantastic. We'll come on to the Livingston second goal now. We've talked about it a wee bit already, but I just want to ask, I'm not really sure, is there any question marks on the goalkeeper, Martin?
I think so.
It's not right in the top corner. But
no, and I think he might have still been standing on both feet when it hit the back of the net as well. And I'm not sure that as he moved, as he dived for it or not, or as he missed it completely. But I think he had enough time in the build up to anticipate that, you know, the shot was coming in. Certainly when the player had nobody near him before he hit it. So I would question the goalkeeper. I did think that in lifetime when I was watching the goal and the replay as well. I thought Barkas didn't do himself any favours with the lack of effort that he made. I thought the two players in the build up that should have closed the player down should have a good look at themselves, and the keeper. Yeah, despite the fact it was a good strike, I would expect the keeper to do better. Definitely, Paul. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that went wrong in that goal. Obviously, rushing in at the ball, and then the guys got so much time on the edge of the box. But Scott, MD that watches a lot of Gary Neville's analysis knows that he canes goalkeepers all the time for losing goals for outside the box. He's very critical to the point where I just outright disagree with him, because sometimes it's a brilliant strike, the ball moves quickly, and if somebody puts it in the top corner, there's nothing you can really do about it. It doesn't matter. I think it's a defender's mentality to say, well, the goalkeeper's to save that. But it's not right in the top corner, is it? It's a couple of yards inside his post. What do you think?
It's not in the corner. I don't think that's why he's not got to it. It's the movement. Almost, I mean, see, when you watch it, you remember Nakamura's goal, the volley, where it's going to the right and to the left. It wasn't half as, had half the movement of that, but still had plenty of movement on it. I think that's what's caught him.
It did swerve at the last minute, did.
Yeah, so that's what's caught him. I'm not over the moon about it, to be honest with you. I think he should have at least got a strong hand to it. So no, I'm not massively pleased, but like you say, I don't really want to be piling mad amounts of pressure on the guy.
Absolutely.
But I think he should have done better, absolutely, aye.
Martin, on to Thursday now. Away, first European tie away this season. Obviously one leg again against Riga. We don't know too much about them, but we did effectively went back to 4-2-3-1 today, with Edouard being rested. We're all dying to see 3-5-2 consistently. Do you think we'll see it on Thursday? I know away from home in Europe, but maybe a different game. I'm
not so sure he'll play three at the back. Particularly, I suppose it depends on Julian's situation. But you'd predicted last night, hadn't you, that the B-Tom would come in, and I agreed with you. I thought that's what would happen as well. Nice and simple, just almost a like for like. When he didn't do that, he chose to, and we were all thinking this morning, was it 4-4-2, 4-5-1, 3-5-2, 3-1-4-2? You know, the social media went mad with what does this actually mean? Particularly up front, we weren't sure what was happening. Was it 2 or 1 up front, and who was playing on the left side? That was the two real problem areas. The rest of it was kind of self-explanatory. And if we hadn't lost the second goal, and we got a fourth goal, we'd be sitting there saying it was absolutely the right thing to do and job done, and why were we concerned this morning? I think the downside, Paul, is none of us can predict the team right now. It's absolutely impossible.
Tell me about it.
I know, and it's not 1 or 2 changes, and it's not 1 or 2 predictions that we're getting wrong. It's 3 and 4, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
I suppose a good thing. I mean, I thought this morning there was 9 on the bench, and I thought to myself, looking at that bench, I think that bench could beat that first team actually, because it was a decent bench and some good players on the bench. So we've got options. Is the good news. Away from home, I suspect he'll go with 4 at the back, which isn't what we want, but I suspect he will. He'll try and tighten up, and particularly at a time where we're sitting talking about losing goals and not being compact at the back. Albeit I made the point earlier that the number of goals lost this year's 5 and 7 games. I think we've played now, haven't we? 5 and 7 games. Not the end of the world. But 2 goals at home against Livingston is one that will worry the fans, and rightly so. It shouldn't be happening. It should be a more emphatic victory at home. So I thought at times today we could have upped it a gear. At times it was good to watch and didn't feel at risk of losing. But I thought we could have really put the boot in, because there was a bit of fluency, but just not enough urgency at times. But on Thursday, I suspect we'll go with 4 at the back. Whether it'll be the same 4 as today or not, I'm not quite sure. I suspect it will. If Julian's not fit, he'll keep that 4 in. And then the question mark will be who's the personnel in midfield and who's up front. There's still a bit of uncertainty around that. Will he bring Eddie back in? I suspect he will.
Yeah, hopefully. Today I did want to see a convince. I thought once we went 3-1 up, we'd maybe put the foot down and go and finish the game really comfortably. But as we've touched on, ended up more nervous than it should have been. Scott, to round us up tonight, your man of the match?
I thought it was between Callum McGregor and Cham. I thought Cham was absolutely brilliant. I'll go with McGregor.
Martin?
Mine's is between McGregor and Ajeti. But definitely McGregor. I thought he was brilliant, and he took away the concerns we had on that left side. He brought the best out of Taylor, albeit Taylor was not brilliant, but he was good at times, played with a bit more confidence, hit the byline. I think it was it the first goal? I think Taylor was overlapping, and the second goal Taylor was involved. So mine's is Cal Mac, definitely. I thought he was brilliant today.
Yeah, I think Van Christie deserves a wee mention as well. A goal and a brilliant assist for Ajeti, but I'm going to go just with McGregor, because I think his role in changing the game once we went a goal down was absolutely pivotal for us. That's all we've got time for tonight. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you during the week for the build up to Riga. Thank you.